Welcome back, everybody, to the Pokemon Purveyors. My name is Shad, aka PokeNav. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. It seems like it has been forever. It's only been a couple weeks since the last time we spoke, but man, a lot has happened. A lot has gone on. Hopefully, you guys had a wonderful Christmas holiday and you are glad to be back with us. But as always, I am not here alone. I've got my fellow purveyor, my boy Jules. How you doing?
Guys, what's up? Shad, my buddy. How's it going? I hope you had a great Christmas. I hope all the yous that is listening to us right now on this podcast have had a great Christmas as well. And I think, yeah, it's the 1st of January. So, guys, Happy New Year to everybody. 2021. We are finally here. 2020 out the window. Hopefully, Pokemon has lots in store for us in 2021. Shad, what do we got today?
Well, guys, we thought there is no better way to bring in 2021 than to have our first guest here on the podcast. And guys, if you're wondering who it is, you might know this person. He's a good friend of ours, a fellow PokeTuber, a fellow Pokemon enthusiast. You might know him better by his signature name for his community. It goes a little something like this. Rob! Guys, we've got none other than PolishRob himself. Rob, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing fan-freaking-tastic. I lost my voice a little bit due to last night, but you know what? We're here, and we're ready to Ramba.
That's it.
Well, it is honestly well-deserved, man, because you have done something that honestly I've seen very few people do. You opened up over 1,000 packs of Champions Path. Last I checked, I think it was, over 9 hours in that stream?
Yeah, it was about 9.5 hours. I was looking to keep it within 8 to 9 hours, but there was a little bit of delay with some backlog issue with the names getting into live chat sales. But we ended up figuring it out. We got through it, and it took a little bit of time. But 9.5 hours, yeah, took it to open 1,000 packs. So I think it was, on average, a little bit over 100 an hour that we or that I knocked out, per se.
Can I just say something real quick? Rest in peace to your fingertips, dude. Congratulations for getting through that. I opened up.
I got these construction hands, man. They're good to go. They're just full of calluses and just ready to rip packs wide open.
There you go.
Well, I hope that you made enough, Rob, to pay for the carpal tunnel surgery that you're going to have after that.
Well, like I have such a good relationship with like NC Packbuster and the Golden Wardle, and that's who kind of supplies my stuff. They have their own business, they have their own shop, their distros out in the community, and they're really making a huge impact. And I've been I've known them since the beginning, kind of when I started YouTube. So I've been kind of lucky to build a relationship from the beginning, as 0 subscribers with them. And it's just lasted, over the years, just grown and grown. And, it was a perfect setup, a perfect opportunity to work with them and start doing these kinds of things. Something that I've always wanted to, but never had the capital to back up. And opportunity presented itself, and here we are. We're making moves.
Yeah, and that's really incredible, man. And that's one of the things that we wanted to discuss here tonight. All three of us really started doing content creating this year. I think, Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you started back in January.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah, right around in January.
Okay. And then I started in May, and then I believe Jules started soon after that, I believe in August. And, this is a unique thing that we're seeing among even smaller content creators now is pack breaks, box breaks, and really giving smaller content creators an opportunity to connect with a larger community and also to, generate another revenue stream. Is that kind of what your thinking was when you got into this as well?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've always loved lives, and I always like doing mass openings. But it gets expensive, as you guys know. I mean, Pokemon's not the cheapest thing in the world, and over the last few months, it's gotten more expensive, and product has become a lot less available. So sourcing out product from somewhere else, typically you're not going to get the MSRP price. It's going to be more expensive. So yeah, it was more or less, like I said, I started working with them and built a great relationship, and obviously the distributor. So we work on the prices and whatnot. And yeah, it is a little bit of revenue on the side, but it's more to me as a way to do mass openings, without too much overhead, and just being able to enjoy and be involved in the community. That's what it's all about. Like I get more happiness pulling cards for other people than I do myself when I do my own lives. I enjoy a
Mhm.
lot more. It gets me hyped up. I mean, there was a crazy situation which I'm sure we'll talk about later, but that happened last night, which which really hit home for me and a lot of people with what happened. With that series of events. It was pretty wild. Towards the end there, but yeah, it's not more as a revenue source for me. It's more of a just a absolutely just enjoyment and a fantastic time. But yeah, in the aspect other too, like I do take my time off of work on these Mondays to do these kind of mass openings, these lives. So I do expect a little bit of revenue to make up for the days that I miss my 9 to 5 in. So it is,
Mhm.
adds on a little bit of revenue source for me.
Mhm. For sure. And it seems to be that this is kind of the direction that I see a lot of content creators moving. And
Hmm.
would you say that, it's a way again for them to connect with more people? Because as well as I do, as well as Jules does, when you're just starting out on a platform like YouTube or Instagram or wherever and skinning your teeth and trying to build a community, it's
Hmm.
really, really difficult. Like it
Yeah.
takes a lot of grind
Hmm.
to get to a point where some of the bigger content creators are. Um, would you say that maybe this is a way to accelerate that, or maybe to propel somebody to maybe get their name out there more, or to connect with that wider community?
Absolutely. I think it is because it just gets you to start talking to people, I mean, when
Mhm.
you're starting out in this kind of platform anyway with Pokemon and doing PokeTubing, if you know what we like to call it, I think it's more or less the way you start off is by communicating with others and building a relationship. And I think opening packs for others and doing pack breaks does kind of get you that early foot in the door rather than just, doing a video of something, which there's a dime a dozen of. There's
Mhm.
not a lot of pack breakers out there. Although, that being said, it is difficult to start selling packs in the beginning, because you have to build a rapport, a reputation in the community. You hear stories every day on Instagram or on YouTube, people getting scammed out of their money and whatnot. So people do also walk into a potential pack break with a hesitancy, if you will. So you also
Mhm.
got to build that reputation and that respect in the community themselves. But I think it's a great avenue to kind of diversify what you can have going on. But I'll tell you, my first pack break that I did, I mean, it didn't sell out, in 2 minutes, in 3 minutes, and mine still take
Mhm.
a little bit of time to sell. But I think for those people that are starting out, it is a good, essentially kind of getting your foot in the door and start to really get involved and start introducing yourself to other people in the community, if you will, because the community is large, and you got to put your name out there a little bit somehow.
I
Definitely.
think I
Definitely.
think the main point that I'm getting from this, basically, from what I'm understanding, Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, but that community aspect, that feeling of allowing others to find product if they live maybe in a smaller community, let's say more rural places, whether it be in the US, whether it be worldwide, whatever the case is. And like you said, that communication aspect, at the end of the day, that social networking aspect is so important when it
Yeah.
comes to this content creating. And I think you hit the nail on the head with those 2 points, because you're building that rapport. You're putting your name out there. People are starting to understand that Rob is a good guy, stand-up guy. He does things correctly. You're not gonna get scammed if you go see Rob for opening up packs. And you know what? I applaud you for doing this. It's really great, bud, because it's cool. It's cool to watch. It's cool to be part of. Even in when you're in the chat, like sometimes I'll moderate for Shad when he does his lives as well on Fridays on his personal channel, and you just see that community aspect going through the chat and everything, just bringing people together. Like,
Hmm.
congrats, dude! Awesome. My hats off to you.
Appreciate it, Matt. Thank you, thank you. It's still a work in progress, but I'm enjoying every step in the way. I always everybody that's joining in that asks me questions, like I'm still a small fish. I'm in a large ocean. There's still a lot of growing, a lot of stuff to come, and a lot of adversity to overcome. But hopefully taking a step in the right direction. And as long as I'm enjoying it as I'm doing it, that's all that really matters to me in the end. Because if I'm
Mhm.
enjoying it, I know the people out there are also enjoying it as well.
Yeah.
Well, and I think just to piggyback off of that, I think especially this year, it's been so important because with the pandemic and so many of us being estranged from each other and not having that real close knit social connection, this is really a way for you to connect with a community,
Hmm.
and doing it in a safe way. And so I think even more so this year, people have a hunger to connect with somebody, and you as a content creator, much like Jules, much like myself, you're really the figurehead behind that, and you're really the conductor of bringing that community together. Because I notice it as well, in your live chats, in all of your box breaks, you've got people that are diehard PolishRob fans. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they will come back again and again, and it's because they like you as a person, they like your personality, they like what you represent, and you've got essentially a group of like-minded people, that are supporting you and supporting each other as well. And I think, especially as I said, with this year, with everything that's gone on, people are looking for that more and more. They still like to see, the Lee and Hearts out there. They still like to see the real breaking Nates, having the pre-recorded videos and, having that enjoyment as well. But they like to be a part of it. They like to feel like they are a part of what you are creating. And for myself, it's one of the aspects that I've planned on including on my channel this year as well, is having box breaks and things like that. And what you mentioned earlier is having a trusted source that people can go to, a vetted source. So with all of the fake products out there, all of the things that we've seen gone on this year, having a person that they can go to, that they trust, and that they can purchase product from, where they not only trust that person, but then they can see it opened up live. They can, have other people cheering them on. It's almost like you're a part of a team when, you're a part of these box breaks. And I've got to give it up to, PokeRev. I feel like he was really the person that really kicked this off for most people and really started this, no pun intended, but revolution that we're
Yeah.
seeing in content creating.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of rambling on. But is that kind of what you see as well, Rob? Is people are wanting to have a vetted source, and obviously you've got your connections. You've got people that you work with that you trust personally, and I
Hmm.
feel like it's just a kind of a trickle down effect from
Hmm.
there, in that whole sort of supply chain.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's crazy to even think that there's Polish rock fans out there, right? Like, I never came into this thinking that there was going to be such a source, and the people that actually reach out to me and ask me questions and stuff. That's still mind blowing to me every single day, right? Like, what I do on my channel, or how I act in my lives, or how I am and how I talk and whatnot, is how I am in person. There's no difference. I don't put on a mask, when I come on my lives and act like a different way. It's just who I am, and that really does also, for anybody out there that is thinking about content creating and stuff like that, just be yourself. That's what it comes down to the end. Don't sit in front of a script and try to read something off. Just get on there, be yourself, because people are there for you. Essentially, sometimes it's not about the packs; it's about the person behind the camera and conducting the train, if you will, right? uh, First and foremost, everybody watching that's interested. But yeah, I think PokeRev definitely started, the revolutions, all pun intended. He went in on that, and he really brought Pokemon to the forefront as far as these breaks. Now, I mean, breaks were happening with sports cars and all this stuff, and there's even some a little bit underground breakers that started before Pokemon,
Mm-hmm.
before PokeRev, right? But he kind of brought it to the forefront, and it's because he already had an influence in the Pokemon community, right? He was already
Mhm.
in the buying and selling business, and kind of had a nice jump start, and had connections out there, and brought it to kind of a forefront of being a thing. And a lot of breakers out there that would say, "Oh, well, PokeRef, I didn't look at PokeRef for doing something like this." I mean, they'd be lying to you. I mean, of course, everyone knew what he was doing, and some at that point didn't agree with it, and now they're all on board with it. You know what I mean? Prices not, prices subject to change. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
um, he did a great job. He did a great job for sure. And to say that I didn't get some kind of inspiration or use some of his methods or tactics for organization and for keeping things moving and for quality, right? I would be lying 100%.
Hmm.
He's very efficient in what he does and how he does it, and that's something that you definitely have to take into account when you're doing it yourself. Learn
Hmm.
from something that works, right? Then make it into your own.
Hmm.
But yeah, I agree. It is definitely a different way. I mean, we're moving into a world where, COVID is a huge deal, right? People are staying at home. People can't get out that much. And on top of that, the collectibles market has exploded and you can't even find Steam Siege at the stores right now, especially after the holidays. I went the other day, it's a ghost town, right? I can't find a build and battle Zacian deck right now, or not a build and battle, but the little, the thing, right?
Hmm.
With the Zacian and Zamazenta. You can't even find that anymore. The
Oh
battle
yeah.
theme decks, whatever you want to call them. And
Hmm.
it's been bad at the stores lately. And this gives a way for people that do want to search for kind of packs that they haven't been able to open, like a Burning Shadows, a Champion's Path, and whatnot. And it's an outlet. On top of that, it's a safe outlet, right? They don't have to go out.
Hmm.
Some adults, some grown adults, some kids out there do have health problems and have to be at home, right? But they still enjoy Pokemon. They want to open packs as well, but it's not available in the area. Well, next thing you know, you have a guy like me, PokeRev, Card Communist. We can keep going, right? PokeKobe that open up packs and give you that enjoyment. On top of that, it's a different thing. It's a different aspect, right? Like you can go and buy a pack and open at home and enjoy your pull, right?
Mm-hmm.
But once you get involved in the pack break, not only do you have the person breaking your cards that's super excited for you, you have the chat losing their mind if you get an insane pull, right? And that's what it's
Hmm.
all about. Although it's through texting, through typing in the chat, it's still exciting. And there's emojis and there's, people screaming, hooting, and hollering, and you can kind of feel their atmosphere and their vibes, not really through talking, but through text. You can feel that energy. And it's something that is drawing people more and more and more. And the reason to be honest, I kind of want to start doing pack breaks is number one, I love mass openings. I love it.
Hmm.
And it's just something I've always wanted to do. And second of all, just going back and to be truthfully honest, PokeRev has built an empire, but there's so many Poke fans out there right now, and he can't meet demand. We know that he can't meet demand, right? The demand is super high, and he sells out fast. And there's a reason he sells out fast, because the demand is high. So there's still room for other creators out there to kind of join this space and still, given
Hmm.
all due respect to PokeRev, get in on it as well a little bit. There's also always that space to get in on it. And and much respect to him for sure for starting it off. But we all know that he can't meet that demand super high unless he went,
Hmm.
maybe every single day. But the man's got a life, a wife and kids that he has to go home to as well. So, but yeah, I agree. It's an interesting time with COVID and all this stuff going on, and this seems like a more viable option for a lot of people. And they are, as long as you're reputable, you do a great job, and you take things with a honest approach. There will be people that will highly invest into you, your channel, and your pack breaks because they enjoyed the experience and the time and the effort that you put into what you do.
Yeah. Nicely put. Nicely put.
Thanks, man. I know I babble a lot, but yeah, you know,
Oh.
you know.
No, it's very well said, Rob. And the other thing that I would mention, going off of what you said, is that as we said, PokeRev started this. He kind of started this whole pack break, box break, or at least brought it to the forefront.
Mhm.
Um, but again, like you said, he is limited on one. His main asset is his time. He's very limited in that regard, and also what it is that he's actually opening in each of his box breaks. So, he has a tendency to do maybe more higher end products on his channel. Well, guess what? Not everybody can afford to buy into those box breaks.
Mhm.
So you've got, somebody like yourself who's opening up 1,000 packs of Champions Path, which here just a couple months ago was extremely hard to get. And on top of that, they probably in the long run, when they're purchasing those packs, rather than going out and trying to find it themselves, all of the extraneous costs that go along with that, in the end, they're probably saving money in that regard, going directly through you. And again, you've got a vetted source there. And then beyond that, for anyone else that is considering this, you also have the ability to open up products that you don't normally see opened up. So, for instance, for myself, once I start doing this, I've already told my community that I'm going to be focusing a lot on black and white era, XY era, even EX era types of products, where they're kind of in that median where they're not vintage and they're not super pricey, but they're also not modern as well. So they kind of have a good medium, if you will, for people to still get into for products that are really difficult to find. And that's just something that I've noticed as well, is that there's a lot of opportunities out there for really anyone that wants to get into this, because you can open up a variety of different products ranging in different price range, whatever is suitable for you and your financial means. And then on top of that, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but as we've been talking about, a lot of the time people are coming back and they're getting into your box breaks or your pack breaks because they want to support you.
Yeah.
They want to support you as a content creator.
Mhm. No, I agree 100%. Even my last pack break, there was a few individuals that got quite a few packs and they didn't really get the pulls that they were looking for. And me being, knowing the monetary value that they spent on the packs and what the cards may be worth, and their effort and their time, their money that they spent on it. And if I don't get any good pulls, I feel bad. I truly do. And I'm like, man, I'm so sorry. Like, I need to do something. Let's make it up on the next one. Let's figure something out, man, because I feel absolutely terrible that you didn't get anything good. And they're always honestly the nicest people in the chat. They're like, hey, I'm just happy to be a part of it. Thanks for letting me be part of this with you and support. And that's all that really matters to me in the end. I'm like, no, that's not what matters. I got to get you that card. Like, no, it's cool. It's good. And I'm like, it's so surprised, shocking. You know what I mean? Because I've been in pack breaks before. It's like, oh, dang, I didn't get that pull. But hey, you know what? It was fun. It was fun. That's my outlook. And
Mhm.
it's just crazy to think that other people out there have that outlook as well. And they're just so nice, about, that getting thing, just wanting to be a part of something like that. It's still mind blowing, to even think about in that aspect.
No, and I think you're right. And it's like I was saying, they're getting in it because they enjoy you. They enjoy the content, that you're providing, and you do a great job, Rob. And I have to say,
Thanks,
if you're worried about giving people the good luck, judging by this last box break, you are not shortchanging yourself, because go ahead and tell everyone, out of 1,000 packs, go ahead and tell everybody how many Charizards.
14 Charizards.
What?
14 Charizards. The odds were
14 Charizards.
crazy. That means you were getting a Charizard less than 100, per 100 packs.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
don't know
I
what the
think
exact math is at the top of my head.
I
didn't
think
even
that
write it
comes
down.
out
That's crazy.
to I think that comes out to roughly about what, like 70? I think it's right
Yeah,
around like
70
maybe
something.
70
Yeah.
packs.
Every 70
Wow.
packs came out
Which
with
I
a
mean
Charizard.
yeah, that's essentially 2 booster boxes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
essentially buying 2 booster boxes and
Yeah.
getting a Charizard. That's pretty incredible.
It's
And
crazy.
especially, because that was including both the Rainbow Rare Charizard VMAX
Of course.
and the Shiny Charizard V,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Exactly. I believe there was
crazy.
four shinies and then 10 hyper rares.
Wow.
I gotta
Wow.
open
Did
up. I gotta open
anybody?
more Champions Pad then, because I haven't pulled a single one yet.
Yeah, you just need to get that crate in, Jules.
Yeah,
Just
I
get that
gotta
crate in of
just
Champions
bring the
Pad.
palette. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite crazy. I mean, I expected to get 10. That was my thing. I was like, my goal is to get 1 per 100 packs open. That's my goal for you guys out there. That's what I want to happen, So buy into this box break. Let's get 10 Chargers. And then we pulled 14 and everybody was legitimately shook. I was shook, when that last one got pulled, it was a great moment. And not only that, it just every single pack break I've gotten so far, or done, I've gotten the chase card, which is not doesn't happen too often. So we got the Mew and Mewtwo and Unified Minds, which was a lot of fun, and then the Chunky Chew, which is apparently 1 in 1,000, was pulled in the first 20
Yeah.
packs. And then I did one with the ETBs and pulled 4 Charizards out of that, out of 12 ETBs.
I remember
So
that.
it's been a wild ride with pulling those chase cards, but It's been fun. It's been fun. Just seeing the card in person, although it's not mine, it's still exciting sending it off. I'm not worried about having it in my collection. I would love to, but I'm just as excited pulling it and then sending it off to its rightful owner. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Did anyone happen to? Did any one person that bought into the pack break? Did they get more than one Charizard?
They did. Yeah, one individual got 3 at the end of the day.
Oh my gosh!
3.
Was it was it all 3 the same, or was it 2
No,
hypers,
it was
1 shiny?
2 VMAXs and then 1 shiny. 2 VMAX, 1 shiny. He went by the name of Raphael, and that's all he was hunting for. He bought 25 and didn't get 1. Then he bought another 25 packs and didn't get another. And then bought another 25 packs, and I called him a crazy person. And then he pulled one of the VMAXs. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, I made up for your other 50. You know what I mean? I pulled you one. And then 7 packs later, he got the second one. I was like, oh, man. He's like, well, I already got a couple of those. I'm really looking for the shiny. And then he ended up not getting the shiny. Well, lo and behold, I scrolled down the list, and he bought 21 more during the pack right at the end, bought off the rest of the lot. And at the end, the last 5 packs that he had, he ended up pulling the shiny Charizard that he was looking for. So he walked away with 3, man. It was great. It was great. He definitely paid for it, but he ended up making his money back and then some if he were to sell the cards outright.
That story,
because
that story reminds me of like when you're playing Pokemon. I got my Pokemon, I got Red and Game Boy Color. I finally got it back, and you hit the casino, the Team Rocket layer,
Yeah.
and you're just draining that slot machine and try to buy yourself a Dratini or whatever you need to try to go to get a Dragonite, and it's like, we finally did it. I hit 777s. You win the 300 coins, and you're super happy. So I can imagine what this guy was feeling when it's like real life.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, not even that. That's not even the craziest story of the day. So there was an individual by the name of Stefan, and he came in and he bought, during my live, he bought 10 packs, right? And after the 10 packs, he decided to buy 10 more almost immediately. So he was back to back and bought 10 more. And then to Novell got nothing. I looked down the list, and then he bought 20 more. I was like, okay, this man is at now 40 packs, and really looking for that Charizard. I looked down the list anymore, even more, and he ended up buying 50 after that. So all in total, he had 90 packs and to go, which I was charging, $7 a pack. You can do the math. It's quite a bit of money. And as I pulled nothing from him in his first 40 packs, it was a few people down the list before I got to his 50. And as I was approaching his 50, he goes, my girlfriend told me not to do this. And if you don't get me anything good, I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. And I was like, oh, man, well, so then now the story begins to unfold, right? And the chat is on it. They're going nuts in the chat for this man, Stefan, not to sleep on the couch tonight for buying $700 worth of packs and not walking out with anything really worthwhile. And so we're getting through his packs. He's like, oh, I got 50 more. I'm not worried about it, before I go into it. He's like, I got 50 more. We're good. And I was like, okay, man, you got the confidence. I got the confidence. So we start going. We start getting to his last 50 packs. And we're getting about to like 25, still nothing. We're getting down to about 20, nothing, 15, nothing. At the last 10, he's like, okay, I'm getting nervous. I'm like, you're nervous. I can feel you breathing down my neck right now. Your girlfriend is going to show up with a pitchfork and a torch and burn this house down. And we're getting down, and there's 3 packs left. I'm like, oh my God, there's 3 packs left. We get down to 2 packs, the last pack, and I'm like, I can't open this last pack. I can't do it. And mind you, with a bunch of cards that you're opening, you don't really do the pack trick or anything like that. You're just kind of skimming through the packs, right? Mm-hmm. You're just getting right to the hits, and you're moving on. That way you can make it as efficient as possible. So it's the last pack down, and we're towards the end of my live now, and 1 more pack left sitting on the counter. So I'm like, okay, like, Stefan, this is it, man. This is the make or break a moment, And so I was like, I'm going to do the pack trick for this one. So I open it up nice and slowly. I do the pack trick, and I'm just slow rolling it. And I'm just, counting the cards away until he's going to be sleeping on the couch, and she's going to show up and burn my house down. And we get to the last, the reverse hollow, and I'm just kind of sitting here talking with the chat. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I feel so bad, but, and it sucks, man. It sucks. It really does. But I guess it's part of Pokemon. I pull the last card, and out comes the Charizard VMAX.
Oh, my God.
The last pack out of 90. Like, you can't make this stuff up, No. Between him buying in and getting down to his last pack, and me doing the card trick, which I haven't done all day, and slow rolling it, and the chat freaking out, and the rooting this man on, and me rooting this guy on. I legitimately jumped out of my seat. I lost it. Like the Rams won the Super Bowl. It was just, I was thrilled for this guy, and the chat was thrilled, and it was freaking out. There's 10 minutes of just euphoria. I got goosebumps. I felt like it was my card. But that's
Mhm.
the kind of investment that you put into doing stuff like this and being involved with your community and the people in it. And they really do get invested too. It was a crazy moment, and one that I'll definitely never forget. And I know Stefan will never forget. And I know the guys that were in that live personally will never forget as well. And that's what it's really all about, and what excites me as doing pack breaks. For anybody out there watching right now that's interested, like, it's crazy. It's a very euphoric experience. It's different, and you live for those kind of moments. And I got my moment, and that was really special to me, and definitely something I'll never forget.
For sure, for sure. And like you said, I have found in my life as well, it's very often the most fond memories that I have is when I've actually done something for somebody else. It's
Hmm.
in a lot of ways, you benefit in a way, by having a revenue from doing this. But there's, like you said, there's a lot of cards in there. When you're pulling those, you're thinking, man, I wish I
Yeah,
had this in my collection. But and there's so much gratification in knowing that that's going to somebody else that is absolutely going to cherish that. And as you said,
exactly.
this individual, he's going to remember this probably forever. And
Hmm.
everyone that was in that live chat is going to remember that moment as well. And that is going to keep the same people coming back again and again and again,
Exactly.
for that opportunity to get that big chase card. And
Exactly.
it just
What
an incredible story.
what's
Yeah, I
really
mean, you can't
funny.
make it up. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, I was still mind blown, and even after the whole live, I mean, everybody was messages and stuff on Twitter was going on, stuff on Instagram was going on because everybody was still didn't want to get over that experience, and it's just special moments like that that are absolutely awesome in the Pokemon community, and I honestly cherish every single day that I do something like that.
Like this guy basically, at the end of the day, he pretty much paid for the Charizard.
Exactly.
Can we, right? So
Mhm.
he pays for the Charizard, but the story now that he has in terms of paying, instead of just sitting on eBay and just waiting and click and you win the Charizard, he's got whatever, I don't know, his 90 packs took, let's say, an hour, I don't know,
Mhm.
whatever the case is, but he's got a 1 hour story that he can tell people and say the last pack of
Yeah.
the live. Rob does the card trick every the bottom of the
Yeah.
ninth. I don't know baseball. I don't even know if that's correct, but I guess it is. Bottom of the ninth, just grand slam, boom, smash that
Yeah.
Charizard. That's like, and then his girlfriend just there, like, you better,
Oh
we
yeah.
always have that second person there in the back of our minds that's like, you better not be doing this
Oh
stupidly,
yeah. She was there the whole time. She was there the whole time watching too.
Yeah.
They were both the best, and those kind of moments are absolutely priceless. Like, you can't put a price tag on that kind of moment, right? I can't put a price tag on it. I mean,
Mhm.
there's not. I would never trade that moment for the world. Honestly, it was great, great experience. Honestly,
Well, and you can guarantee that anytime his girlfriend questions any of his future purchases, he's just gonna pull out his cell phone and he's gonna say, "You remember this? You
yeah,
remember this?"
yeah,
So incredible, man. Such a cool
yeah.
story.
All right, guys. So hope that you have been enjoying the current podcast. We said we were going to bring you that guest, and here we are, January 1st, and we have that guest on, hoping that you guys enjoy it. For the rest of the podcast, I'm sure you guys will. And we're going to just take a quick, brief pause on the podcast. I'm going to bring you guys the giveaway here. As you can see, I know that you guys were ready for that giveaway of the Fall Collector's Chest 2020. So without further ado, let's hop right into this. We are on our main page here, the Pokemon Purveyors. I'm going to go on to the videos. And as you can see right here, we'll get this video here. We'll get this, we'll copy the URL. We'll go into the random comment picker. We're going to paste that right here. And we're going to filter for duplicate. We're going to also include filter for specific texts right here. And we got hashtag Purveyors Xmas. Okay, and we'll get the comments. So we have unique commenters 26. So guys, thanks so much for all of you who have entered. And without further ado, let's see who the winner is. There we go. We have the winner. The winner is Austin Jensen. It says the comment was Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas right back to you, Austin. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel here and being a part of the podcast. Thanks for being a purveyor as well. What I'd ask is just reach out to us by email at pokemon.purveyors@gmail.com. Send us a little email there saying that you won. We'll get all your contact information from you, and we'll send you that fall collector's chest as per the instructions that we had put into the video. So with that being said, guys, we'll put you back in touch with the podcast. Hope you enjoy and have a wonderful day.
Well, on top of that, Rob, as I said, a lot of people are probably interested in this topic of box breaks and perhaps maybe incorporating this into their own channel or, maybe on Instagram or Facebook or elsewhere. Now that you've been into this for a little while now, what would you recommend? What are some tips that you would give people who are maybe considering going down this route and trying to incorporate this into their brand?
I would definitely say don't spend over your means. Make sure that you have enough capital to back up your initial investment, and don't go out buying 10,000 worth of product thinking that you're going to sell it out in the first 2 weeks. I still have trouble sometimes before my lives selling out my breaks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Still new to this, still building a name myself for that, and eventually I hope it gets to a moment where I put something and it's like a PokeRev and it sells out immediately. I would love that, but make sure you go in there with level head and you understand that it's not just about selling packs and then sending them off. You also have to implement your top loaders. You have to implement your penny sleeves. You have to implement your shipping costs, your padded envelopes. To secure high grade cards. There's a lot of cost that goes into it. It's not just about getting a box, selling it, and then you're done and then sending out some cards. So yeah, just go in there with a level mind. Don't spend behind over your means, because in the end of the day, if you don't sell on your box break, you're still stuck with a box that's now halfway open, and you're scrambling to sell those packs, and rent might be due next week. And what are you going to do at that point in time? So that's one thing I would go on there, and make sure that you talk to the community that you have built if they'd be something interested in doing something like that. Before I went into it, I put out stuff on Instagram, I put out stuff on Twitter, and I put stuff in my community tab and asked the community if they would be interested in me doing a box break. If that wasn't stepping on anybody's territory that wouldn't want me to go that far or be like another, you know what I mean? Like, it just really gauges what the community want. All the community gave me a positive response. I was like, perfect, let's do it. Let's give it a try. And if you want to give it a try, start off small. Start off with 30 packs, 36 pack, a booster box maybe, and then build your way up based off how that goes. Maybe take those profits that you made from that break and then put it into your next one. But also don't expect that you're going to go in there and be able to charge PokeRef prices. You also got to think that you have to be fair about what you're charging as well. And costs can go up as your premium goes up, if that makes sense. As your reputation goes up, you'll have more premium behind your name. But go in there, your first box breaks, thinking that you're going to get the bare minimum. Maybe you'll be making 25 cents a pack after all your shipping supplies are factored in. There's a lot of factors that go into it. It's not just buying a box and selling it. There's a lot of stuff that goes into the break that you really need to think about. So
now, Rob, question for you? Do you factor in things like your shipping costs into the overall price that people are purchasing packs for? So that's included, like for instance, with Champions Path, it was $7 a pack. Did that include the shipping costs in there as well?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what's factored in. Now, mind you, I do my stuff through NC Pack and Golden Wardle, and we discuss what they bought the product for, what they need to make on their end, and then the small profit that I can make for breaking on my channel and then shipping back. We got to ship the product to me, then we got to ship it back to them so they can ship it off to everybody else, right? Because essentially their Hydro Pump LLC is through their hub, so I need to make sure that all that product gets back to them as well. So there's a lot of stuff that we factor in, that we talk about, before each box break, of what, needs to be made in order to make ends meet and not go broke, doing this kind of stuff, move on to the next one. And that all goes back to having that capital, right? That over, making sure that you're not, getting too much, over your head in that product, and that you're able to do it in a way where it will sell, and then you can move on to the next one with, that profit that you made from that last box break. So, but yeah, it all gets factored in. The shipping and all that stuff does get factored in. And it's right now, like I said, it's at the bare minimum, right? There's no premium behind my name or anything like that. And we're about charging, as less as possible, because we know that it's hard to find product. We know the times are tough right now, and we still want to enjoy Pokemon with the community. So we're trying to make it work as best as possible, and there will be sets in the future where it's going to be a premium product. So there has to be a premium price, right? But other than that, yeah, we try to do our best we can to be as fair as possible to the community. And all that gets factored in. It's all one big talk, and then it gets factored into the price. And then we agree with it on the end, and then we just roll with it.
Well, and I feel like it's also nice that you're working directly with these companies, because you're all coming together and really figuring out the best solution for everybody.
Exactly.
And I, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but especially for somebody starting out, and if you don't have a whole lot of capital up front, to me, it seems a no-brainer to want to work with companies like this, so that you've got multiple minds coming together to make sure that it is a viable solution for everybody. Now, that's not to say that somebody can go out there and say, hey, I'm going to buy $10,000 of X, and they actually don't really have that. Again, it can, Rob, you and I have talked about it before. In a lot of ways, it's an investment. You're investing in yourself, and much like other investments out there, if you don't have the capital, or if you get into a situation where you feel pressured to have to sell, as you said, sometimes the box breaks don't completely sell out. So you've got leftover inventory that you then have to figure out, okay, what am I going to go ahead and do with this? Am I going to save it for another box break down the road? Am I going to just try to maybe sell these off individually, understanding where you are, what your financial basis is, so that if you do have to go through something like that, you're in a good position.
Exactly. And to be honest, like, I wouldn't be able to do this without these guys. I'm super happy that I built that relationship and build that trust with them. We're able to send, thousands of dollars of product back and forth, and not worried about that, someone's going to screw another person over. We just built that trust over a year's worth of time. And, I couldn't be doing this without them, and the only reason I'm also doing it is because I went in there with confidence that I was going to be able to do it. And have been increasing my workload as far as opening packs, because walking in there with confidence that I'm going to be able to do it, and I'm going to put in the extra work with promoting the stuff, and getting it out there and putting in that extra work and being able to do it in one sitting. That's a whole nother aspect of it. 1,000 packs, 9.5 hours is not for everybody, but I knew I can do it. It's been something that I've done over years, whether not even just on YouTube doing lives, playing video games, being able to sit there for 9-10 hours as a kid, and even as a grown adult, I've done it. So I knew it was going to be something I can do, and I just knew the confidence that I had, and how I've always, been throughout my whole life, being able to overcome adversity. And I knew, like, if you throw 1,000 packs at me, I'm going to make sure that this gets taken care of one way or the other, whether it's one day or within that week, man. I got you. And they trust me with that kind of stuff. And then the Rob Mob trusts me, the viewers, the community trust me with that stuff, and then we make it work, and it becomes a just blessed experience, amazing experience, and I think everybody wins in the end.
I think basically also what makes it easier for you, and what would make it easier for Shad, what would make it easy for me, I think, is deep down inside, rooted in all of us, every Pokemon enthusiast out there. we just love this product. We love what Pokemon is. And at the end of the day, you've done many openings already on your channel as well, not only information and so on and so forth, but like, there's no better feeling, whether it's for someone else or whether it's for you. Just that feeling of opening up a pack of cards is what's satisfying. So at the end of the day, it's like a no-brainer for people, for you, for me, for Shad, whatever the case. Anybody who likes to open packs, 500, 1,000, God, the euphoria, the adrenaline running through your body, no matter what the case. I could just imagine, like, I can't even fathom, like, I haven't even looked that far already ahead as to what I want to do, but that must be such an awesome feeling to be able to live, basically. Also, every week you do this, whatever the case.
It really is. And I mean, I knew that it's something I wanted to do because when I started doing my lives and doing openings, right? Like, I would always tell Chelsea, like, hey, I'm going to open such and such product, only this amount. This is what I'm limiting myself to, and I'm going to open it. And after I'm done opening, I'm going to end my live. Well, in my live, I'd open that product, and next thing you know, I'm reaching back here and I'm grabbing another product. Over here, and I'm grabbing another product. And next thing you know, I'm 200 packs in, $800 in at one live, and for essentially, you know, me and 20 other viewers just hanging out, opening product. And it was fun. It was still exciting. I'm like, man, I need to do mass openings. I need more and more and more. But then I look at my bank account, I'm like, ooh, the capital's not there. I can't do it anymore. Well, what's the other way I can still enjoy doing mass openings but not have to have it at my own, you know, crazy expense? You know what I mean? And it was PAX breaks. And you know, once again, going back to poker, if he kind of put that on the forefront and more people started buying into it, although a lot of people hated what he was doing in the beginning with the prices, but they also weren't understanding the effort, his time, and top loaders and sleeves and shipping. And once again, his time doing that stuff to get the product out, you know, that factors into his price as well. And he needs to make a living. So, but as he kept going through all the criticism and kept fighting through that, people started understanding more. And all of a sudden, those people that were hating what he was doing loved what he was doing, right? And, you know, once again, credit goes out to him for doing all that kind of stuff. And it's then I realized, well, what's the next best step for me to continue these mass openings? It was pack breaks. It was pack breaks. I mean, you know, I kept reaching back there and opening my own product, but eventually that product ran out. In this case, with the pack break, 600 packs, I have 600 packs, and that's it. The live's over. But after 600 packs, I've got my fix, you know? And those people that got into the break got their fix, and maybe they got the hits too. So it works out for everybody. It's legitimately a win-win-win situation for NC Pack Plus to go to Wardle. It's a win situation for me, and it's win for situation for everybody, either just watching or that's in the pack break.
Now, Rob, going back to the beginning, how were you able to connect with these companies that you work with?
Basically just through channels. I mean, just doing videos, searching. I mean, I did a lot of, you know, promoting and putting myself out there when I was at 0 subscribers. You know, I was reaching out to people, like-minded people that had the same sub count I had. So it didn't look like I was trying to step on anybody's toes. I was just trying to basically associate myself with people that were in my same situation, right? And just through talking and building relationship, and next thing you know, we ended up on a Twitter group, and you know, next thing you know, we exchanged phone numbers. So it was legitimately just reaching out and joining their lives, and them joining my lives, and it just started off small like that, and then ended up building a relationship, kind of like blossomed out of nowhere, you know. But it happened. It legitimately happened. Like, you know, like I talked with you, with Gules, right? We just kind of built a relationship from sending a simple message, be like, hey, you want to do a pack break? And then, you know, it's built a little bit over time, right? It's essentially happened the same way with these guys, you know. But the only difference is that, you know, I mean, we were all small at one point in time. It'd be a lot different if, you know, they were on the epitome of selling and me just being just starting out. You know, maybe they wouldn't be as they'd be a little more hesitant to kind of, you know, build a relationship with that kind of individual. But yeah, that's how it's really started, if that makes any sense. Just word of mouth, just talking with them, and, you know, building that trust with somebody over a long period of time, you know. It just didn't happen overnight all of a sudden.
That's a very good point. Doesn't happen overnight, right? Because everybody believes that when you watch YouTube and all these things, but we all know, living this, guys, day to day, we all know deep down it just doesn't happen overnight. It's blood, sweat, and tears. And even when you thought it's all done, you got to put more blood, sweat, and tears into it. So I
Exactly.
agree. I agree with your point. Yeah.
And I mean, they reached out to me and they asked me, "Hey, do you want to do this? We saw your last pack break, and we got the supply to meet your demand. You want to make this happen? Let's talk it over and see what you think." And I talked to Chelsea about it, about taking Mondays off to start doing this kind of thing. And I talked to them about it, and we figured out the inner workings of it, through just talking like us. There was no like crazy business, seating and a bunch of advisors. I was just, talking like we would normally talk. And we're like, all right, yeah, let's make this happen. Let's do a few runs, see how it goes, and see if we can make it happen to, something else in the future. And it's been going great so far.
And it's so funny how that works because I found the same thing in my experience, like partnerships, people that I'm working with now or that I have in the past. A lot of it, as you said, is just in the beginning a simple message. Some,
Mhm.
one or the other person reaching out, and a lot of the time, business is just conducted right over your phone.
Mhm.
Whether it's a conversation or maybe a Zoom call, something like that. It just usually starts with one simple, outreach from one person or the other, and it really is amazing, and again, one of the things that I want to go back on that you were talking about is overcoming adversity, and that is something else that I would definitely express is anybody that is wanting to go down this path or just content creating in general, you have to be able to overcome adversity. And I truly think that there is a common characteristic among people who do this. People like yourself, Jules, myself, other content creators that you see out there, big or small, we all have an ability to do just that, to overcome adversity and to really have a drive to make something more of yourself. That is a common theme that I see among a lot of people, and just overall persistence, mental fortitude, because as you said, it is a grind a lot of the time. When people look from the outside in that maybe have not been involved in this sphere, is they just see the end product. They see you doing 1,000 pack opening, or they see guy, we'll take it up the echelon. You see a guy like PokeRev opening up a first edition base set booster box, or you see a guy like Leonhard, opening up $10,000 worth of packs in one video, but they don't see all of the years and everything
Mm-hmm.
that went
Exactly.
into that. And I've heard stories. I've actually listened to other podcasts before of a guy like Leonhard, where he, at one time was basically just getting by. And that was even practicing as a lawyer, was
Mhm.
just getting by, barely had enough money to pay his bills. I've heard PokeRev express something similar, that he's had a lot of other business endeavors that have failed, and
Mm.
he's had to pick himself up by the bootstraps and get himself back out there. And people just don't see that. They don't see, you putting in, what, a 10-hour workday and then coming home, recording a video. Jules, myself, a lot of us, this is what we do. We
Yeah.
put in a lot of time and effort outside of that. And so that's something that I really want to drive home here tonight. And I really want to give you a lot of credit for in doing this, because I understand, and Jules does too, and anyone else out there that has ever tried this, they understand just how difficult it is and the amount of time and effort that it really takes. So I definitely want to give you the respect that you deserve in that regard, because we
Thank you,
we
man. I
definitely
really, really
understand.
do appreciate it. It's still a learning process, 100% sure as well. And but I do appreciate that, man. Still learning every step of the way, and still trying to
Mhm.
grind it out as much as I can. But
Aren't we all, man? Aren't we
That's
all?
it.
And I feel like it's a continuous learning curve.
yes,
You're learning something new every day, and a lot of the time we're learning from each other. You and I have talked a lot. Jules and I talk a lot, and we really are. We're learning from each other in this venture that we've all undertaken. But the last question that I have here for you, Rob, again, going along the lines of this form of content creating that we're seeing now, and it seems like more people are kind of gravitating towards this. Where do you think the future of Pokemon content creators are headed? In the beginning, we had, the primetime Pokemon, maybe the TCA gaming, who were opening up products here and there, maybe recording it, and now you've kind of moved more into the informational sphere, more of the providing education. Now that Pokemon has really become an investable asset,
Mhm.
people like myself, yourself, Jules, even providing information and education, and then on top of that, now the box breaks. I'm interested to see or hear where you think things are going from here, and what the next step is.
That's honestly a really great question. The way I see it is Pokemon has really brought in influence to a lot of bigger influencers out there. And what I mean by that is a lot of people that are in the like entertainment industry. Obviously, Logan Paul was one, but he's ventured out. Really, his influence has ventured out to people that do a lot of entertainment stuff on Twitch, whether it's gaming, whether it's talk shows, whether it's a lot of entertainment stuff. So the way I see the next Pokemon shift really taken as far as YouTube or content creating is entertainment. A
Hmm.
lot of people were, in that aspect of wanting to know the information, and still do, because they were getting back into Pokemon, right? Now they're starting to learn a little bit about Pokemon due to what, the informational side is giving them, but now they're ready for that entertainment aspect, right? Who behind the camera can give them, like a ninja kind of thing, right? Like entertainment and having fun in gaming, but in Pokemon, really, whether it's through Pokemon Go games, whether it's through gaming, or whether it's through openings or pack breaks, whatever the case may be. So I see a big shift as far as content creating into the entertainment aspect. Again, where it kind of originated, right, with the prime time,
Hmm.
with the TCA gaming, with Leonhardt, with Real Breaking Nate, with Ando. They were in the entertainment, right, and opening up product and just having fun. And then a lot of the new now it shifted over to more informational because a lot of new people were coming back in, had no idea what Pokemon really was about and whether they can invest or get into. And now it's going to probably shift back over to entertainment side again because a lot of these bigger influencers out there do entertainment and now they're getting into Pokemon and they're being entertainment with their already huge following. And then those followers are going to want to find something else out there too with Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I see right now potentially. And we're seeing it on Twitch, right? With people like
Hmm.
Pokemon, with Sanuko, Disguised Toast, like these bigger influencers on Twitch, getting together and doing these massive openings, right? And having fun and talking and collabing back and forth. And it's entertaining. That's entertainment.
Hmm.
Um, that's what I see. That's what I see potentially in the future. There's a lot of coming back into the entertainment aspect of um, Pokemon. That makes sense.
Yeah, that does. Kind of like we did with the Pokeball 2020. Shad reached out to everybody, and
Yeah, that was
like
fun. That was a
once
blast.
once we were done, guys. Right? We all said the same thing. We're definitely doing it next year. And imagine if there was like 15 people on it or whatever
Yeah.
the case was, and we would open more packs. Like to your point, you're right. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, you're trying to make people happy. You're trying to bring a smile. You're trying to be fun. You're trying to provide entertainment, and
Mhm.
what better way than to be live while doing it instead of pre-recorded, and just catch everything, every little emotion, every feeling, whatever the case is. Your audience reacts with you. So
Exactly.
that's so true
Exactly.
what you're saying, that it is going to back towards that, because 2020 was a year of information, because not
Mhm.
many people were in the Pokemon aspect, the world market, but
Mhm.
now they are. So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think the live aspect is a huge deal right now, and I think to be honestly, with YouTube, is promoting a lot of live stuff more than it did in the past. I've seen some changes in the live like settings on YouTube, where they're really going towards that like Twitch feel, and I'm seeing
Hmm.
them implement it more, and they're putting it out there. So I think they're really going to start pushing that kind of live stuff. They see it's trendy, and it's trendy in Pokemon. Twitch is kind of a big deal. We've seen a lot of gaming content creators on Twitch moving over to Pokemon and obtaining massive quantities than they did when they were gaming.
Mhm.
So there is definitely a shift into live and doing lives and talking and people being involved as far as content creating and being able to provide that entertainment to somebody rather than them sitting there and watching TV. They're watching somebody on YouTube, Twitch, whatever the case may be, live, having a good time and enjoying Pokemon.
Yeah.
Well, and I can foresee at some point, as you said, more live interaction, multiple people, who knows, maybe 10, 20, 30 or more people together at once. And, maybe, having full on tournaments. Obviously, we have the
Mhm.
actual competitive play scene of the TCG. But actual like maybe big tournaments like pack battles where there's like more solidified rules than what we had for the Pokeball.
Yeah.
That was kind of a work in progress type of rule system there. But, something like definitive that people can get in on where, maybe there's I could even see at some point, maybe even a network, a TV network sponsoring like a big event where you're getting big content creators together. They're opening up packs, pack battling, and this really turning into a big event. I mean, you've seen just what creators like Logan Paul or a guy like Steve Aoki, when they do these box openings, the amount of people that they pull
Mhm.
in for these live events. I
Mhm.
mean, could you imagine if you had, you know, 20 or 30 of those same people all together in one video?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think, to me, that's kind of going along with your sentiment. I think that's also where we're headed as well. More live, more entertainment, and really being able to again branch out to a larger audience.
Yeah, 100% sure. And then, when I do my content, for my channel personally, I don't just look at Pokemon stuff, right? I look at different content out there and what's working for other people and try to implement that Pokemon aspect to that, right? What's,
Hmm.
not necessarily trendy, but what's working for somebody else out there? And then how can I apply that into Pokemon creating and involve Pokemon and put that in my channel to make it work? And
Hmm.
so far, it's been working. It's been doing great, and people have a positive outreach to what I'm doing. And I always ask questions. I always ask for feedback, and I leave it open in the comments. When I do something because I want that feedback as well. But it does seem like the live is really kind of it's what's going, it's what's pushing, and what
Hmm.
YouTube it might be transitioning over to more in the future. I mean, they're always trying to be the best of the best and the epitome of viewership online, right? And with YouTube TV, and then with all the other stuff that they offer. So I think the live is going to be something that's more sought after, especially with the newer generation of kids and young adults that are moving in, right? To Pokemon and stuff. That's what they're used to. It's not. It's a lot different. It's a lot different, and it's a
Hmm.
pretty important thing to kind of follow that transition when
Right,
content
right.
creating.
Well, and also the fact that, most kids nowadays spend more time on YouTube or
Mm-hmm.
Twitch than they do in front of, an actual network,
Exactly.
dish or cable or anything like that. They're spending the majority of their time on these platforms.
Hmm.
So yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
But Rob, hey man, we truly appreciate you being here today. Truly appreciate you dropping the insight for everybody out there that might be interested in this. Um, keep doing what you're doing, man. You've got an awesome channel. And for anybody else out there, if you're not familiar with Rob, if you haven't checked him out, Rob, where can everyone find you?
PolishRob on YouTube. Just type it in the top right, PolishRob, and you'll see this ugly mug on the front cover, looking like I'm eating my lizard and Charmeleon. But yeah, check it out. I understand that everybody's gonna love the content. Not everybody, I'm not for everybody, but give it a whirl. And you can either smash the subscribe button or you can say you did it, you gave it a try, but that wasn't for you. But either way, man, I appreciate everybody that pops in or whatnot and hangs out for a few minutes or so. It does mean the world to me, and I do cherish everybody that gives me a try. Well,
Awesome.
guys, I
Nice.
appreciate you guys having me. Honestly, it was a pleasure. This is awesome, man. Being on the other side of the podcast, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a different experience. So I appreciate y'all having me and reaching out and allowing me to take up some of your time.
Well, we certainly appreciate it, Rob. And then also, if anybody out there listening wants to get into one of your next pack breaks, where can they do so?
So you can go on the hydropumppokeshop.com. That's where usually that's where the pack breaks are, posted. Just click on the one, it'll say PolishRob right next to the pack that we're going to be breaking for that. And yeah, it's pretty much easy PayPal, service there. And just tune in for the next date that we're going to be breaking it open. And if you don't, remember the website or don't want to try, usually when I'm live, I have it pinned up above, and you can probably buy during the live if it doesn't sell out beforehand.
Excellent.
Nice.
So yeah,
And we'll be sure.
hydropumppokeshop.com. I butcher that all
Cool.
the time.
And we'll be sure to link everything up both on podcasting platforms in the episode description, and then we'll link it up in the video description as well on YouTube. That way, you guys can go ahead and check out Rob and get in on one of those awesome breaks. Because I got to tell you, Rob has been pulling the luck lately. So if there's anybody that you want to get in on a pack break with, it is this guy.
Yeah.
So, Jules, anything else for us, my man?
Yeah, just a quick thing. Number one, Rob, I want to congratulate you for passing that 3,000 mark. I know you're 100 and something off there or more, which
I
is
appreciate it.
props to you, my friend, because I'm sure that's difficult to achieve. So congratulations. But just before, I want to just play devil's advocate, maybe like a 5-minute, okay? Okay, so we know that the future is gonna happen to be these live breaks and so on, okay? But I wanna experience something. We know that Pokemon printed a boatload of stuff back in the WOTC era, and they're printing a boatload times 7 now, right? So as much as we want to open up, we want to give opportunity to everybody, I want to see what you think, okay? WOTC is still being open now, and now they're printing more, but there's even more openings happening now, and we're experiencing a shortage as of 2020, probably into 2021, as PokeBeach put into their website. Do you think that the value of the cards of nowadays, given that so many people are going to be doing these openings and so much product is being opened, do you think that it has a chance of holding any potential 15 years down the line or 20 years down the line like WOTC did, given what we know now in 2021?
I think yes and no. And I think what it's going to come down to is nitpicking certain sets and why they're valuable down the future. So, for example, I'm going to bring up my next pack break. It's Burning Shadows, okay? We know that the Hyper Rare Charizard from there at a PSA 10 is about $3,500. The reason being is after the first print run, they obviously reprinted the set, right? But the quality was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, terrible. Not just centering. I'm talking about the cutting quality, right? It looks like it got butchered by a butter knife in the cutting process. And that's every single rare card out there, almost. 90% of the reprints are absolutely terrible quality. So that being said, the 2017 initial print of Burning Shadows was great. So if you get any cards that were from that initial release, they're going to be great quality, which is why the Charizard at a PSA 10 can be found from that. That being said, my next break will be with 2017 Case Fresh Burning Shadows, which means that there's a potential at that PSA 10 Charizard, hit if the centering is good. I know the card will be great, but is that centering going to be good? That's subject to change. But either way, there's still that potential where you don't have it with the reprint. So that being said, down the road, it's going to be sets like that and dates on sealed cases and master sets that people are going to be looking for print quality, right? For a potential chase card. And it's all going to come down to population report with those cards. And we know that the only way the population report is going to go up for a PSA 10 Hyper Rare Charizard is if one gets pulled from a 2017 set. Now, that also being said, we don't know what has been reprinted and what has not, because we don't have any labels to differentiate some boxes to let you have it from a master case, which brings up sealed product like that to down the road be very valuable very, very valuable because you're getting a guaranteed product from a first print run like a Burning Shadows. So I think down the road with all the prints that are happening and that can potentially still happen, I think it's going to be really nitpicking a set and really getting down into the grimy and the dirty and finding out what potentially can make that certain card or certain sealed product valuable in the end. With all the reprint stuff coming out, because you know, a lot of people in the Pokemon community, like myself, do sometimes hate, you know, with this Hidden Fates ETBs. You know, the video I just did, you can't tell the difference between a 2019 and now a reprint. There's no difference inside and out of both ETBs, but we do know that they were printed a year apart, right? So what can we find down the road that will make a product really, really valuable? What makes that big difference? And I think that's what will hold value with all the reprints going on right now, and potentially still going to happen once COVID kind of subsides and they start getting more of that workforce back into their warehouses, back into printing, and they're starting able to keep up with more supply for all the demand that there is right now, because they are short-staffed in a lot of areas. I sent my cards that I had errors with almost a year ago to Pokemon, right when COVID started, and they're still saying that they don't have anybody to man that side of returns for you know, for faulty cards and for, you know, for things that they messed up, you know, upon initial print. They still have nobody to man that section of Pokemon, and I've been waiting a year to get my either refund back or a new set of packs. It's been a year, and they, you know, I message the same guy, you know, every month and say, any updates? He's like, no, we got nobody to do it. There's nobody out there right now. We're short staffed. So as the COVID stuff subsides and they start getting people back in and start working again, I think the, you know, the supply will go up to meet the demand, and it'll be nitpicking really to find out what's actually valuable in the future.
That's it. So
I know
so
it's
basically,
rambling, but it's
to recap what your understanding of it is, from what I understand now, is before, if you were lucky and you kept everything WOTC, basically everything WOTC we know now is pretty much worth a good chunk of change. And as we go on into the future with more modern things, you have to be very, very selective in terms of which set you want to have, and even sometimes which just one card out of that set, because of, number one, printing mistakes, whatever the case is, the quality. So that's interesting. I like your perspective on it, and I just wanted to see, because we know that so much is going to be open with such little supply. I wanted to see if it would have had any impact to what you thought in the future Pokemon would have looked like in terms of value for cards and so on. So thank you very much for that amazing response.
We just can't really not say that Pokemon is going to reprint something, right? We're always thinking that there's going to be a reprint at some point, because every time we think there's not a reprint happens, right? Unbroken Bonds, Cosmic Eclipse, potentially Unified Minds here in the future. They reprinted Burning Shadows again. You know, we saw it stocked out of nowhere all of a sudden. They printed that set as well. So you never rule that out as well. And as the workforce comes back, I think the supply is going to absolutely skyrocket as they're trying to push a lot more product out at one point in time. We're even finding Champion's Path on the shelves now, and people are leaving it. So
yeah. Couple things that I want to touch on with that, Jules. You opened up a can of worms.
Yeah,
here.
I know. I'm sorry. I knew. I had to ask it. I'm sorry.
But I do agree with you, Rob, about, you know, as we move on into the future, sealed products, especially cases, being valuable. You know, especially when you're looking at sets that have been reprinted, like Hidden Fates, like Burning Shadows, Ultra Prism, what have you. Any of these sets that have the potential to be reprinted, having a case, I think, is something that people are going to look at, because they're going to want to know, because outside of a case, there's really no way to know, was this set printed in 2017 or was it printed in 2019, 2020, 2021? So those cases, I think, will definitely be valuable. On the flip side of that, I can also understand how malicious individuals would take advantage of that and fake those cases. I mean, to me, that would be a huge opportunity to You get a box together, you slap, a similar label over the top of it, and then you sell it at a premium saying, "Oh, this is the original 2017,
Mhm.
Burning Shadows." So I could definitely, and I hate that that's one of the first things that jumped into my mind, but it's again one of those potentialities that
Yeah,
people
it's
will have
realistic
to
approach.
that people will definitely have to consider, because I can guarantee, if there is a way for people to fake a product, and especially if we try to find a better way to try to add value to certain products, there will always be scammers out there, and people trying to fake those,
We have to throw the
to try
holy water on
to
those
garner.
scammers. We gotta stop it. Gotta stop.
Yeah.
Let's not awaken them to this. Guys, pretend
Yeah.
this never happened.
Yeah, I mean, it also comes down to at that point in time buying from a reputable seller, right? That's why
Hmm.
a PokeRev holds so much value. You know what I mean? And can charge a premium because he's reputable. And many other guys out there, Danny Fantup, Carter Commonist, right? Reputable sellers out there. That's why they charge a premium, because they charge a premium
Hmm.
because they're reputable, right? And even if, for example, PokeRev did have a fake box, right? But it was his fault. He realized it and he refunded everybody else back. So there was no scamming
Hmm.
involved, and he made it
Right.
right. And that's why
Hmm.
they're able to charge those kind of prices, and they are who they are in the community because they built that reputation of being a 100% honest person that will get you the right product, with the right quality and the right,
Hmm.
no scamming, no scamming involved, right?
Right.
Authentic
Right.
product is the word I was looking for.
Hmm. And I think on top of that, along with that kind of characteristic, I think as we move on into the future, much in the same way that we have placed a premium or more of a value on certain cards from the past, we can look back at, for instance, Gold Star cards. When those
Hmm.
cards were initially released, they were pretty popular, but it was like, oh, okay, Gold Star, kind of
Hmm.
cool. Now, those cards are super valuable, super rare. And I think, maybe as we go on into the future, maybe it's yeah, maybe it's, cards like, okay, we're looking at a set that was the first to release amazing rares. Maybe that's what garners a big value. Collectors look at that with some kind of, it's like a connotation, because
Hmm.
everything that we find of value is only based upon the subjectivity of the larger
Exactly.
community,
Hmm.
right? So, people will look back, maybe 10, 15 years from now, and they'll say, hey, there was these cards. Maybe there was a certain error that existed in the reprint of Burning Shadows. And then
Hmm.
all of a sudden, it drives up a premium for the reprint. It very well could be that. And we've always found those unique little one-offs that make products more valuable.
Exactly.
Um, so that's kind of the other thing that I tell people as well, is that, just because a card is maybe more common nowadays, or that there's a lot of it out there,
Hmm.
that doesn't mean that those cards won't fetch a much higher price in the future, because of some kind of subjectivity or connotation that
Exactly.
that we wrap around that. You know what I mean? Kind of in the same way as, like, the Charizards from Evolutions.
Hmm.
We At the time, there was probably a lot of people pulling those cards, and didn't really think much of it. But now we understand how difficult it is to get, especially just the regular hollow Charizard, in a PSA 10.
Yeah.
So again, as you said, PSA pop reports are probably going to be super
Yeah.
important in the future when we're looking back and we're trying to derive value from products. So
Yeah.
I,
Exactly.
I I just wanted to throw that in there, but I think you're spot on. I think that these are all different things that
Yeah.
we'll be discussing 5, 10 years from now.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like I said, you touched on it too. I mean, just getting down to the nitty gritty, what makes that set different than upon others, right?
Hmm.
Cards, whatever the case may be, errors. If they're not known now, they will be known later because people are going to get down to the nitty gritty and find out what makes that set valuable. Although it may seem worthless, all of a sudden it's worth $1 million. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Exactly.
Excuse me.
Exactly.
So,
Well, again,
we'll
Rob,
definitely-
we truly appreciate your time, my man. We truly appreciate you being here. And like I said, we will make sure to link everything up down in the episode description as well as the video description. You guys heard it here first. Polish Rob, he's got Burning Shadows, original 2017 Burning Shadows for that next pack break, guys. And do yourselves a favor and get in on that. And really, it couldn't be done by a better guy, a better member of this community. And again, Rob, we just truly appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate it, man. It was a pleasure. It was great to be on the other side of the camera, just hanging out and not asking the questions. And it was a great time, man. You guys are awesome, honestly. I do this every day of the week.
We love the Rob mob. Woo!
Hey, Rob.
Let's go. Let's go.
Excellent. Excellent. And on that note, guys, we will go ahead and see you next time right here on the Pokemon Purveyors. Take care, everybody.
See ya.